When you think about the first family of evil, what are some of the names that come to mind? I'm sure when you look across the billionaire ranks, there are probably a lot of options. And after all, I've regularly said that all billionaires are evil. But if we're looking for the modern day first family of evil, I present to you the Waltons. These are the descendants of the founder of Sam's Club and Walmart. Sam Walton and all of his heirs account for a combined wealth of $432 billion. That's how much their combined family has earned off of the Walmart empire. When you look at those earnings, you can think about a lot of the things that could be done around the world to uplift all sorts of people from the most abject of impoverished situations. But is that what they choose to do with their money? I'm nominating them as a first family of evil because they have nearly $500 billion worth of wealth that they've accumulated, and they've done it by exclusively putting into place wage policies and labor policies that drive their employees to poverty and destitution. Think about it. When you think about the Walmart family, they have millions of employees. They're one of the largest employers in the US. And each year, those employees cost the US taxpayers $6.2 billion. So a family that has almost $500 billion worth of wealth refuses to pay their employees enough of a livable wage so that they can avoid public assistance. That is a special kind of evil. And when you think about it, this is an organization and this is a family that refuses to allow unionization within their organization. They pay poverty wages, they have poor health care, and they have the American taxpayer who is subsidizing their poor labor practices. When you look at their business model for the consumer, it presents a pretty interesting offer. You get a lot of cheap foreign made goods. And as a business empire, Walmart is notorious for squeezing their vendors. And when you think about what has happened to Main Street America, Walmart is a big reason why your mom and pop stores no longer exist because they come into a market. When you look at what Walmart does when they come into a market, and this is typical of any big box retailer, they come into a market, they undercut all of the competition. So that drives out all of the mom and pop stores. When you talk about Main Street America and what's happened to Main Street America and the $50 trillion wealth transfer that has happened from the 90% to the top 1%, the Walmartification of what's happening across Main Street America is a perfect example. These giant organizations and megacorps come in, set up shop, drive everybody else out of business, and at the same time have the taxpayers subsidizing their poor labor practices. And all along the way, the CEOs and leaders of these companies are swimming in money. So when you think about historically what Walmart has done, their business model is built on that. It's built on destroying the middle class. It's built on coming into a community or a series of communities and offering poverty wages for desperate people and fiddling with their income as much as possible. And at the same time, creating a massive wealth gap that leaves everybody else in the 90% pretty upset and wondering what happened to their standard of life. And this happens over and over and over again. And when you think about it, for every employee that Walmart has, the American taxpayer is spending at least $5,000 per employee each year to subsidize the poor labor practices of Walmart. And Walmart is just one example. The Walton family has an accumulated wealth of almost $500 billion. And instead of figuring out a way to raise their employees' standard of living, what are their heirs focused on? The Walton heirs are focused on which professional sports team can they buy next. That is the definition of corporate greed run amok that's been subsidized by the taxpayer. And there are countless examples of these sort of companies and families across the country, which I will be chronicling over the next several weeks. But I wanted to bring attention to the Walton family as a particular example of corporate greed and billionaire evil run amok in the US that's destroying the 90%.